Hey there, I'm professional psychic and astrologer Karen Marie here in Austin, Texas, and I will be discussing the astrology for the week of January 5th. For those of you who don't know me, I've been a professional psychic and astrologer for 38 years, started in 1988, so I've been doing it for a hot minute. I'll be putting my contact details in the comments below if you'd like to schedule a private session with me and know how all these transits may be affecting you personally. I'm going to share my screen here where I have the chart of the current astrology pulled up. I have it highlighted on the Capricorn energies, which is the major focus in this week. We have a huge stellium. Stellium means three or more planets in the sign of Capricorn. The sun is here. We have Mars and Venus sandwiching the sun right now. We also have Mercury. We also have the asteroids Juno, Pholus, Astrea, and Vesta. These make a strong, focused energy on the Capricorn area of your chart. Capricorn is a cardinal earth sign. It rules the 10th house in the astrological wheel. This is the house of our mission on this planet, why we came in here. It is also the house of father, our father in our childhood, yourself if you're a father. It's your boss, yourself as a boss. It's our government, or if you are governing someone or something else. These are the things that Capricorn represents. It's where we put in hard work and effort over the long haul. Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn, and Saturn is where we set up boundaries and structures and the groove. It's where we say no. That's where it's like, nope, that's not going to work for me. Not willing to do that. Saturn can be like the teacher with the ruler that can pop you on the knuckles if you're getting out of line. Saturn rewards when you put in hard work and effort. So this stellium together is magnifying these Capricorn energies. It's a great time to start new things that are going to last over the long haul. The sun here is illuminating all these energies in Capricorn by itself. If there were no other planets or asteroids in Capricorn, we would be focused on this energy right now. The fact that we have a sandwich of Venus and Mars at the moment, they'll both be making cazimis with the sun. A cazimi is when a planet is exactly conjunct the sun. It's in the heart of the sun, and the sun magnifies, makes even stronger the energies of that planet. They're already all three conjunct each other. So we're already getting this major emphasis on these planets together. Venus represents love, our love for ourselves, divine love, the love we have in relationships with others. It's the women in our lives. It's the divine feminine showing up in our lives. It's Venus, right? Venusian energy. So it's beauty and the arts. It's also our money and our finances. So all these things are being highlighted right now, and it's a great time to initiate something new. Anytime a planet comes in exact contact with the sun, it's starting a new cycle. When the sun and moon come together, it's a new moon initiating a new lunation cycle. So this is Venus coming together with the sun, initiating a new cycle. And also there will be a cazimi with Mars this week, and there'll be a conjunction between Venus and Mars. So these principles are being magnified. Mars here represents the divine masculine. It's how we put energy into things. It's how we take action when we're getting in motion. Whereas Venus is receiving energy, Mars is putting it out there. Again, it's the divine feminine, divine masculine coming together. This is for all of us a coming together of our own divine feminine and our divine masculine. It's a check-in time. Are we open to receiving? Is our heart open to receiving love, abundance, beauty, these things in our life? Mars is taking action. Are we willing to put forth the work and the effort towards the things that we want? Are we listening to our intuition before we take action, not just going off half cocked. We're aligning ourselves internally first, and then we're moving forward. So let me give you some exact times and dates when these they're already conjunct right now, because they're all, any time a planet is within 10 degrees of another planet, it's considered conjunct. And then the closer the degrees are, the more powerfully they're combining. The chemistry is creating a new potion that's super powerful. The fact that all three of these are conjunct, traveling together in the sign of Capricorn, is super powerful. So on Tuesday the 6th at 10:35 a.m. Austin, Texas time, Venus will be exactly conjunct the Sun at 16 degrees and 22 minutes of Capricorn. The moon will move into Virgo at 10:56 a.m. that time. Right now the moon is in Leo. On Wednesday at 8:43 p.m., that's the 7th, Venus will be exactly conjunct Mars at 18 degrees and 9 minutes of Capricorn. On Friday at 5:41 a.m., the Sun will be exactly conjunct Mars at 19 degrees and 12 minutes of Capricorn. So if you have planets or points in any of these degrees, in any of these middle degrees, you're especially being personally activated by this combo coming together. Now, these will be traveling together, and they'll kind of all move into Aquarius together later in this month. And I'll talk about that in another video coming up. But for this week, I wanted to really focus on what are the energies that you might be feeling right now. Let me pull this back out here. So the moon is in Leo right now. We just moved through Cancer, right? We had the Cancer full moon a couple days ago. I think everybody felt that. The moon is the ruler of Cancer. So when we have, and this was a super moon, meaning it was closer to the earth than usual, really pulls out people's emotions. As the moon is now in Leo, Leo rules the 5th house in the zodiac wheel. This is the house of romance. It's the house of children, our own inner child, and the children that are in our life. It's the house of creativity and creative expression. So, like today, tomorrow, Monday, these are great days to be creative, to do something romantic, to nurture your inner child. These would all be lovely things to be doing. Let me just go ahead and tell you the transits of the moon for this week. On Thursday, the 8th at 6:05 p.m., the moon will be moving into Libra, putting our focus on relationships. Also, Venus is the ruler of Libra. So the fact that we've got all this strong energy with Venus, Venus conjunct the Sun, Venus conjunct Mars this week, and then Venus moving into Libra, there's a lot of emphasis on relationships. In fact, Venus and Mars coming together could mean coming together of relationships for you in your life. Venus can represent women in your lives, and even Venus by itself, wherever she's traveling, and if it's interacting with one of your personal points or planets, could represent a woman coming into your life that's important. Mars can represent the same thing in terms of male energy coming into your life. The two of them coming together can mean relationships coming together. And of course, that coming together of a lovely balance within. I think that's the most important thing. But there could be, and especially since Capricorn is an initiating sign and these are initiating new patterns, this could be the start of relationships showing up for you in your life. Again, new friendships, relationships of all kinds can be represented. Libra represents all kinds of one-on-one relationships, new coworkers, new clients, new business associates, new friends. That there's a lovely energy around beauty and the arts. New creative ideas, creative projects would be great to be started. You receive the idea and you can start putting it into action. These are some ways that could be showing up. Libra is also the scales of justice and fairness. So when the moon moves into Libra, that can highlight court issues, judgments, rulings, that kind of thing can be paramount, and relationships. Then the moon will be moving into Scorpio early Sunday morning at 4:55 a.m. So those are the transits of the moon this week. this is where I tell people to start. Like, if you don't understand transits and astrology, start with where the moon is. On a daily, it's easy enough to Google that, where's the moon today, and pay attention. Notice as it travels through the different signs, because it travels through all 12 signs in a month, and see if you notice any difference in your life or events that happen out in the world when the moon is in certain signs. If you know your astrology and you know which house everything falls in, and the houses are determined by your rising sign or the ascendant sign, which is the time and place you were born, is what places everything in the chart. That's why people who don't know the time they were born don't know their rising sign, and it's super important in astrology. You can always go with your sun sign, but people who don't believe in astrology, usually it's because they're just looking at the sun sign. And astrology is all the planets, all the houses, all the signs, and just where are they showing up in your life. So it's a much bigger, deeper dive into what's going on. And an astrology birth chart is like a map to give you your kisses and your quacks, as an old astrologer friend of mine used to say. You know, the areas in your life that are strong and easy and will come easily to you, and areas that will require more effort, more of a challenge. We all have pros and cons. Every sign has pros and cons. Every planet has pros and cons. Every house has pros and cons. Really, the higher your life condition, the more you are accessing your own higher self, your own spiritual nature. I'm a Buddhist, so I call that my Buddha nature, but you could call that your Christ self or your higher self or your divine self. The more elevated your life condition is, the more you're going to be finding the positives out of life. Whereas the lower your life condition is, the more you're going to be negative, pessimistic, and having negative experiences and finding the worst of things. So it's always important to plug in and do spiritual practices every day. And that can be breathing deeply, can be a spiritual practice. Chanting, meditating, praying, taking a walk in the woods, staring into a flame, whatever centers you and connects you to your own inner voice. And everyone is psychic, we're all intuitive. Your intuition is the voice of your higher self, whereas the mind, the logical rational, is made up of everything that's been programmed in our life. So the mind should be the co-pilot. The pilot should be the intuition. The intuition gives us it's our GPS system that gives us the direction on a daily basis. And all we ever have to do is figure out, what today do I feel guided to do, and follow that. So we've got the transits of the moons. This week we're starting with Leo, moving into Virgo, moving into Libra, moving into Scorpio. And then I've given you the major deal, which is the coming together with the sun of both Venus and Mars. We also have Mercury in Capricorn, even though it's not yet conjunct these other planets. It is, there we go. It's at 4 degrees right now. Mercury represents our thinking, our communication with others. So we could also be initiating new things when it comes to how we think, how we think about ourselves, how we communicate with others. Things like social media. It's also advertising, the news, our phone calls, our texts, our emails, our handwritten letters. These are all Mercury. So there's also these new beginnings starting with Mercury, and Mercury will catch up with the sun eventually and have a cazimi with the sun as well. Not this week, however. Also this week, all these 3 planets, the sun, Venus, and Mars, will be opposing Jupiter. An opposition is like a tug of war. Jupiter is the best planet to have a tug of war with, because Jupiter is the great benefic. It brings good luck and blessings and makes things bigger. So we already have things bigger and more magnified because the sun is illuminating both Venus and Mars. And then they're all going to be opposing Jupiter, which magnifies this even more. So these are large and in charge. And Jupiter, again, anything that you're starting this week in these realms that represent these planets that I talked about is going to have benefits long term for you. So on Friday, we'll have the first opposition with Jupiter. That'll be Venus opposing Jupiter. That'll happen at 11:34 a.m. on Friday. On Saturday, the Sun will be opposing Jupiter while we're sleeping. Hopefully, it's at 2:42 a.m. Saturday night, so late Friday night if you're staying up late. The Sun will be opposing Jupiter, and then Mars will oppose Jupiter at 8:25 a.m. Saturday morning. Um, Mars can also, on a negative end, can be the god of war. It can be like explosive temper and that kind of thing as well. So Mars and the Sun coming together can also magnify these warlike qualities, especially in people who have not worked out their emotional things and tend to be more fiery and combustible. Since we are in an Earth sign, that's more helpful. But again, Capricorn represents the government, so it's interesting. We have had some aggression happen this week with our own government as Mars has been conjunct the Sun. Not exactly, but close enough to make a difference. That actually happened. We had, right around the full moon. With the full moon was when the moon was in Cancer and the Sun here. That happened at 13. The Sun was at 13 degrees. And ironically, maybe not, in the United States birth chart, which was formed on the 4th of July in 1776, the United States has a 13-degree Cancer Sun. So the moon was conjunct the United States natal sun when we took action against Venezuela. So I'm always fascinated by how astrology will show up. It's not predictive in any other way other than like a weather forecast, very similar to a weather forecast. You can see like, okay, we got a high probability that it's going to be rain or a high probability it's going to be sunny, so, but it doesn't, we don't, we could have like a high probability for thunderstorms. Do we know where the lightning's going to strike? No, we don't. But we can, know to be careful on that day and not to plan a picnic on the day where we've got a high forecast. So these are some really mostly positive astrology for this week. Especially with these oppositions with Jupiter, they're really kind of magnifying some really beautiful aspects. Again, it could be magnifying different relationships in your life in positive ways. On Sunday, Venus will have a square to Chiron. Chiron's here at 22 degrees of Aries. Chiron's glyph looks like a key. It's the wounded healer. In your birth chart, Chiron shows up as where you've been wounded in past lives, and that wounding shows up early in your childhood, usually in this lifetime. And it's a sore spot. It's an ouch spot. It's a place that you still need to heal. The glyph looks like a key because once you've healed that area of woundedness, then it becomes a place of great strength in your life. The key is to do the healing work. So we'll have all three of these planets, Venus, the Sun, and Mars, squaring off with Chiron starting on Sunday. And then that's when Venus squares Chiron. And then on Monday, we have the Sun squaring Chiron. And on Tuesday of next week, this is the 11th, 12th, and 13th, we'll have Mars squaring with Chiron. So, and I'll talk about that in next week's video more in depth. But just to give you a heads up that this is a beautiful week of highlighting the beautiful Venus and Mars energies, and then Chiron's going to be like, and let's bring out those places that still need to be healed. Like the square is a contentious relationship. It usually requires some action to be taken of some sort, right? So with Venus, the action is to love yourself more, to be more open to receiving love, to be discerning when it comes to who you choose to be in relationship with. Again, Mars is like, are you taking action in the ways that are healing for you? And I feel like we all have healing ability as well. So, and it's about listening to our own inner voice and trusting how we feel guided to do that healing. That could be guided to get into therapy. It could be guided to get into a 12-step recovery program. It could be guiding you to work with a Reiki master or an acupuncturist or a massage therapist or a constellation therapist. Like there's so many different modalities for healing. It's important to pay attention to how you're feeling guided. And if you've already done your healing work, then usually aspects to Chiron are at check-in time. Like, ooh, normally that would have triggered me. I didn't have a reaction. I paused and took deep breathing when I was around my relative that I know that triggers me, for example. Like, no, I didn't get, bite the hook. So just to know that, it could be kind of ouchy the start on Sunday and then into early next week. This week feels really lovely to me. The other things that are going on with the outer planets, Neptune is at the very last degree of Pisces. Saturn is also conjunct Neptune. They're just a few degrees apart. Saturn's at 26 degrees of Pisces. So they're slow moving outer planets. Saturn moved into Pisces in March of 2023 for the first time. It also back into Aquarius and then went into Pisces, but that's when it first entered Pisces. Neptune, which is the ruler of Pisces, first entered Pisces in April of 2011. So they're both closing out the cycles, not only of their stay in Pisces, but the whole zodiac. 29 degree is the very last degree of the entire zodiac. Pisces is the last sign. It's where we complete things. It's where we close out things. Pisces is two fish. So one fish is super psychic. It's super spiritual. It's connected to all that is. It's enlightened. The other fish is caught up in addictions, illusion, delusion, mental illness, fuzzy thinking, checking out. So it's both of these fish. And again, back to my talk about raising your vibration, the more spiritual practices that you do, again, breath work, walking, chanting, like the classical spiritual practices and the ones that resonate to you, drumming, like whatever, playing music, whatever puts you in your Zen place. These things will help bring out your best life condition. Whereas if you're not doing any spiritual practice, you just hit the ground running and you golf and you're picking up your phone and you're doing social media, you're more apt to be reactive and batted back around by the world and wanting to duck and cover and hide out from the world as well. So Neptune is that psychic radar planet that rules this sign. It is closing up. It takes Neptune 164 to 165 years to get around the entire zodiac. So we won't experience the full transit of Neptune in our lifetimes. So it is closing out. It has been emphasizing these areas of everyone's life. Like, are you letting your addictive nature take over? Are you checking out? Are you plugging into spiritual practices? Are you listening to your and following your intuition? Are you aware that we're all one? We're all source energy. We all have source energy within us. We're all connected. Like, is that your perspective? Are you out for yourself and it's you against other people and this divided nature? Neptune will move into Aries on the 26th of this month. It'll be in Aries for the next 13 years, starting a new cycle in a new sign, a new journey around the whole zodiac. Saturn takes about 30 years to get around the zodiac. These two get together every 35 years or so ish. 35 to 37 years is when they come together. So they've been hanging out together. They both went into Aries, the first degrees, last year. Now they've both back into Pisces. They're closing it up. So think about what you have started in your life in these areas since April of 2011. Like, this is like, okay, this is final exam time. Any planet at 29 degrees of any sign is like testing or the anaretic degree. And Neptune is given the big final exam for your PhD of life. Like, are you doing what you're supposed to be doing? Are you listening to your intuition? Are you plugging into your spiritual center in whatever way works and calls to you? Have you been doing that work over this last 13 years? This is a reward time and then new beginning time. Saturn will move into Aries on February 13th. They will be exactly conjunct at 0 degrees and 45 minutes of Aries on February 20th, starting a huge new cycle of these two planets coming exactly together. So these are new beginning times in whatever part of your chart that Aries rules. So that's what we're headed into. Also, around this time, we'll have an eclipse coming up. So we got potent, powerful astrology coming up, starting with these squares next week, and then moving into all the stellium moving into Pisces, moving into Aquarius. As all these stellium move into Aquarius, they'll cross over the next planet I want to talk about, which is Pluto. Pluto represents death and transformation. It's power and control issues. It's deep, dark secrets being revealed. Pluto was in Capricorn starting in 2008 till it finally bumped up into Aquarius to stay. It bounced back and forth for a little bit last year. So now it will be transiting Aquarius for the next 18 years or so. So it's staying in this part of your chart, wherever Aquarius rules, doing deep level excavation and transformation in this area of your chart. For example, for me personally, as it was transiting through Capricorn, I'm a Libra rising. So Capricorn rules my fourth house. It's the house of home, family. So primal emotions. When Pluto first moved into Capricorn, I had 5 of my 6 children still in my house. By the time Pluto moved out of Capricorn into Aquarius, all of my kids, one at a time, had left the nest. A lot of transformation going on in my house of home during that time period that Pluto was transiting through Capricorn. And by the time Pluto went into Aquarius, I was living alone, all of my chickies leaving the nest and out on their own. So that's just one way how it showed up in my life. A lot of deep personal, emotional transformation as well, because the fourth house is also your primal, deep emotional core, your foundation. So a lot of deep, heavy emotional work I did as well. So now it's moving into the house of Aquarius and transforming. And Aquarius is the maverick. It's the unique. It's the different. It's outside of the box. It's all humanity vibing together. So it is the collective. So Pluto is transforming this top-down power over struggle, which Capricorn represents, is like the top-down, the power over the rich men with the money are the ones that run the show. Aquarius is all the people vibing together, the power to the people. And Pluto, moving through Aquarius, is going to be transforming all the governments around the world and putting the power back in the hands of the people. The last time Pluto transited through Aquarius, and Pluto has a 250-year cycle-ish, 248 to 250 years, we had both the American and the French revolutions. The last time Neptune was in Aries, we had the Civil War. We will also have Uranus later this year transiting back into Gemini. It touched up into Gemini for a little bit last year, and it's backed back into Taurus. It will be moving into Aquarius. It takes 7 to 8 years to move through a sign. So we'll have that shift coming up as well. Not this month, not next month. Right now it's in these last degrees of Taurus, shaking up the earth itself. Taurus represents the earth. It's also money and finances. It's ruled by Venus. So there's still a lot of shaking up of that kind of thing, that Uranus is still closing out. When Uranus first moved into Taurus, we had a lot of earthquakes and volcanoes erupting. And I'm imagining between now and when it moves out of Taurus in spring this year, that we will have a lot more earth events happening, because Uranus will be in these last degrees of Taurus for the last time for a while. Uranus takes, I think it's 84 years to get around the entire zodiac. So the last time Neptune and Saturn came together, it was in Capricorn, and this was when the Berlin Wall fell. Capricorn, structure. Neptune dissolves, takes things away. So we can look to something like that happening. It's going to be in Aries. It's going to be at 0 degrees of Aries. 0 degrees of all the cardinal signs is the world axis. So something that will impact the entire planet, transforming the structures, dissolving old structures, building new structures in some way. Aries is ruled by Mars, the god of war. So there is this energy and potential for more war to be coming as a result of these two. But it is also a great time for you personally to set up new boundaries when it comes to your sense of self, what you feel you're best at, setting those boundaries so you achieve your best, and then taking away the things that are not serving you. Aries is also our sense of self. So Chiron moving through Aries has been healing how we feel about ourselves, and healing how we show up in the world, our vitality and our energy. So that's some of the beautiful thing that's been going on with Chiron. Talked about Jupiter. It's retrograde right now in Cancer. So it's highlighting the energies of Cancer. It's dredging up, since it's retrograde, dredging up childhood issues for a lot of us. Cancer is the mother. Again, like I was talking about the fourth house, it's our childhood home. It's our home today. So Jupiter is bringing good luck into the Cancer area of your chart, wherever that resonates for you. So if you want to know how that's affecting you personally, you can contact me directly to have a private session, and we can look at where these are all showing up in your chart and what that means for you personally, and whether you have planets or points that these planets are interacting with right now. So I'm going to stop sharing right now. So now I just want to run a little breakdown by rising sign of how these planets, this stellium in Capricorn, this closing up cycles in Pisces, and starting things new in Aries could show up for you by the rising sign. So if you are an Aries rising, this is showing up. The Capricorn stellium is happening in your 10th house, your house of mission. And so Capricorn, for any of us, it can magnify our mission on this planet. But for you in particular, it is super highlighting what you're supposed to be doing here on the planet and new beginnings when it comes to that. Relationships that are going to help support you in achieving your mission can be happening. The Pisces ending is in your 12th house. This is the house of the unconscious, the subconscious. You could have been doing some deep diving into your own psyche during these last 13 years with Neptune moving through Pisces. And it's also the house of past lives. It's institutions, jails, mental hospitals, that kind of stuff too. It's, again, getting into spiritual programs, spiritual practices. Aries rules your first house. So when the stellium, well, it's not going to be a stellium. It will be eventually, because all these these personal planets will be also moving into Aries to join Saturn and Neptune. But Saturn and Neptune are starting a new cycle in your first house, which is the sense of self, your personality, how you show up in the world, how other people view you, your energy, your vitality. So there's new beginnings in this area of your life. You could also change up, your hair, your clothes, how you show up in the world can be like on a physical level. It can be a deep spiritual shift that shows up in different ways. Okay. If you're a Taurus rising, this Capricorn stellium is happening in your 9th house. The 9th house is the house of the guru. It's where you do spiritual practices. It's where you learn something new. So you may be starting some sort of new education program. It can be the initials after a name, getting certified, getting your master's, getting your PhD, getting your law degree, just being autodidactic, studying on your own. It's also the house of foreign travel and connecting with others from around the globe. So this stellium, this new beginning, is in your 9th house. Neptune and Saturn are closing up their cycles in your 11th house, finishing up. 11th house is the house of groups, networks, relationships, when there's 3 or more people. So you may be closing out some groups you've been associated with. You may be beginning to join some new ones. Anytime there's an ending, there can be a new beginning. They'll be moving into your 12th house, which is the house of diving deep in your own psyche. Again, you could decide to start into therapy, into some sort of spiritual routine program, tapping into past lives. I do past life regressions. You can tap into that energy with 12th house issues. Really, it's taking it more personal. It's a deeper dive within. If you're Gemini rising, the Capricorn rules your eighth house. Eighth house is the house of Scorpio. It's the house of death and transformation. It's the house of merging with others physically, through sex, through marriage, through contracts, through joint finances and joint resources. It's the house of the psychic. It's where you can pick up on the energies from others on the other side. So this stellium in this sign could mean you are starting new things in this area of your chart. Um, Maybe you want to get into developing your psychic abilities more. This is a great time to be doing that with this stellium in Capricorn. Pisces rules your 10th house. So you're closing out energies you've been putting into your sense of mission, your relationship with your father, or yourself as a father, yourself as a boss, relationships with your boss. There's a closing out and a finishing out of that, like a testing around these areas. And Aries rules your 11th house, which is the house of networks, groups, when you get together with three or more people. So you're likely to be joining new groups starting in February, like joining new things. So if you're feeling called to do that meetup group, or to join that church choir, or to start hanging out with those people in whatever group setting, this is the time to be doing. Join that club, join that organization. This is a great time to be doing that. If you are a Cancer rising, then this Capricorn stellium is happening in your 7th house. This is the house of one-on-one relationships. So new people coming into your life and new relationships being formed is huge right now. Pisces is ruling your 9th house. So you're closing up this house that represents formal education, educating yourself in new ways, spiritual growth and development, world and global travel, connecting with people from all over the planet. Aries rules your 10th house. So it'll be moving in, starting new things when it comes to your mission on this planet. Starting new things. Some of you may become fathers that are Cancer risings, or have new relationships with your father. Even if your father has crossed over, you may be having new connections with him on the other side. A new boss could come into your life. You could be a new boss yourself. These are kind of the things, the ways it could show up. Getting a clear sense of where you're putting your energies and if you're fulfilling your mission. If you are a Leo rising, then this Capricorn stellium is in your 6th house. 6th house is the house of your daily life, your service to others, your health. So this Capricorn stellium could indicate new work, things that you do daily, new pets coming in. Pets are something we tend every day. New volunteer positions, new routines that you're doing with yourself. I'm going to exercise every day. I'm going to cut out flour and sugar. I'm going to, like, whatever you do to help promote your health. This stellium in Capricorn is like magnifying positive energy with making new starts in this area of your life. Pisces rules your 8th house. So you're closing out this house that represents merging with others, marriages, contracts, joint finances, taxes. It's death and transformation. It's deep level transforming. You may have been diving deeply into your psyche for a while. It's like, okay, I'm ready to take a break from therapy right now. It'll be moving into your 9th house. Neptune and Saturn will be starting new things in this area. You may want to learn something new. You might want to sign up for that master's or PhD program, or that additional education of whatever. You may teach yourself, be the autodidactic, and really dive into studying something new. You might start exploring new spiritual practices, or commit even stronger to the ones you are already doing. Global travel is going to be factoring in a big way over the next 13 years, and connecting with people from all over the globe. If you are a Virgo rising, the Capricorn stellium is happening in your 5th house. This is the house of romance. It's the house of creativity and creative expression, creative projects. It's fun and movement. It's sports. It's the house of children, your own inner child, and children in your life. So there's new things that you could be starting in these areas. You could start a new creative project, start a new romance, get pregnant. If you have children, there may be something new starting with them with this. Pisces rules your seventh house. So you're closing up things on one-on-one relationship. Lessons learned in your relationships with other people is a big one here. Um, and then Aries rules your eighth house. So moving into where you may be getting married. There may be like merging of going into business with someone. As again, eighth house is where you merge with others, contractually, financially, um, physically, through sex. You may be having a lot of intimacy going on, connecting with loved ones on the other side, seeing your own spiritual abilities really tap in and grow as a result of Neptune and Saturn moving into your eighth house. If you are a Libra rising, Capricorn rules your fourth house. So, new beginnings when it comes to your home. You may be making changes around your home. It's your emotional foundation. So, things that support you doing the best emotionally moving through your life. There may be people coming into or out of your home with this stellium in the fourth house who what makes up your home. There could be changes in your childhood home, or memories coming up about your childhood home, about your mother, uh, new beginnings when it comes to your mother. Again, if your mother's on the other side, you may be having a new connection with her on the other side. If you are a mother, there may be new changes happening in that role with your own mothering. Pisces rules your sixth house, which is the house of daily life, health, service to others. So you're wrapping up lessons of like how to get your daily groove. You've been working on this for a while, like how to have a really good daily groove. Like what pieces do you need to have your best day? And like your spiritual practices, plugging in spiritually. Are you utilizing your intuition in your daily life? It's like you're wrapping that up. Yes, I'm ready to move forward. And Aries rules your seventh house of one-on-one relationships. So Saturn and Neptune moving into that is definitely going to mean new relationships coming in for you. People that can represent father time, that energy of an old maybe mentor, advisor, teacher, healer. Neptune it's the artist, it's the creator as well. So new creative partnerships could be coming in. Again, seventh house is anytime you have one-on-one relationships of any kind, clients, co-workers, friends, family, lovers, whenever it's one-on-one with someone else, that's the seventh house. So lots of new beginnings in connections and networking with other people coming around the bend. If you're a Scorpio rising, Capricorn rules your third house. This is the house of communication. It's early childhood education. It's writing. It's technology. It's social media. So you may be starting some new, launching something new on social media. You could be deciding you're going to get into the old school letter writing campaign, or maybe you're going to sit down and write your memoir, or write that fabulous novel, or write poetry, or write some new songs, or write out your frustrations, send them in emails, get organized when it comes to all these, your paperwork and communication. You could end up getting a new car because third house represents short-term travel, or make changes with your car. Short-term travel plans is also the third house. Pisces rules your fifth house. So you're closing up cycles in this house that represents creativity, creative projects, children, romance, fun and games, sports, recreation. And Aries rules your sixth house. So you'll be starting new things when it comes to your health routines, daily routines. Sixth house is anything you do on a regular daily routine. You could be getting a new pet, because we tend our pets every day. You could be volunteering to be of service in some way, joining a nonprofit, or just volunteering at the food bank or whatever, helping your friends, starting a new job, because we do our job every day or most days. So that these are powerful new beginnings that are coming into your sixth house. And I'm really getting, again, like health routines, like things that are going to better your health is when it really structure Saturn, like putting together your boundaries about what you're not going to eat, how much rest you're getting, exercise, and then taking away the things out of your life that are causing you to just check out. So you may be addressing your addictions in a more powerful way. Sagittarius, this Capricorn stellium is in your second house. The second house is the house of our values and our valuables. It's how we feed ourselves, how we clothe ourselves, how we move our body. It's how we make our money. store our money, spend our money. So there's new beginnings. So it could be new jobs starting up, new physical exercise routines, new diet, uh, food plans, um, new ways you're going to invest your money or save your money, spending your money, like you're going to curtail your spending, you're going to save this amount, you're going to invest that much, you're going to get new jobs with this stellium in your second house. The Pisces energy, Saturn and Neptune are moving out of your fourth house. So they're finishing their cycle in your fourth house, this house of your home, childhood home, primal emotions, your mother, yourself as a mother, mother figures in your life. So there's a closeout here of that. And moving into your fifth house, which is new beginnings in the realm of creativity, creative expression, romance, children, a new relationship with your own inner child, getting more into sports, recreations, games. All right, Capricorn, you've got that stellium in your first house if you're Capricorn rising. So this is new beginnings in your vitality, your personality, your sense of self, how other people see you. Third house is where Pisces is, the planets in Pisces are leaving your third house. So finishing up cycles when it comes to education, communication of all forms. And the new beginnings at Aries will be happening in your fourth house. So you could be getting a new home, moving into new homes, having a new emotional foundation for yourself, a new connection with your mother, even if she's on the other side. You may become a mother with Neptune and Saturn moving into your fourth house. Issues with your children as a mother, if you're a mother. If you're Aquarius rising, this Capricorn stellium is in your 12th house. So this is the house of the unconscious, the subconscious, past lives. There's new beginnings when it comes to like diving deep into your own psyche, addressing addictive issues, plugging into spiritual practices. This is a great time to really do some deep level inner work. The Pisces rules your second house, so you're closing up cycle when it comes to your values, your valuables, what you've been doing to earn your money, how you're spending your money, saving your money, how you're taking care of your physical body. It's moving into your third house, so new beginnings in communications in all forms. So that's a powerful new thing. A new writing project may be starting up. Um, new social medias that you're getting into. Maybe you haven't been on social media. Maybe you're getting on it. Again, you could be writing a book, your memoir, a novel. These are ways that these new beginnings in your third house can show up. And finally, if you're a Pisces rising, this Capricorn stellium is in your 11th house. So new beginnings when it comes to networks, groups with others, social circles, your tribe, new beginnings. This would be the time to join that meetup group, to join that group that's doing the thing that you want to do more of. Pisces rules your first house, so you're closing out a cycle in terms of how you're seeing yourself, how the world sees you, your vitality, your personality, how you show up in the world. And Neptune and Saturn are moving into your second house. This is new beginnings when it comes to how you feed yourself, how you clothe yourself, how you move your body, how you make your money, how you store your money, how you spend your money, how you save your money. So new beginnings in these areas of your life could show up with new exercise routines, new food plans, new jobs, new savings plans, new investment programs, and who you value in your life. So I hope you've gotten something out of this reading today. Many, many blessings.